Good day there, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Traplines and Inlines. This is right on its part 2 of our electric fence project here at camp. We're going to be getting the fence all finished, putting the finishing touches on and all that good stuff. And by the end of this video, you know, our fence is just going to be right exactly how we want it and working great. So hope you enjoy this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, guys, so we're just starting out here in behind the chicken coop, and we're going around here with our rebar stakes and driving them all in there. My new hammer we just got, right? So I've gotten used to it here now, but at present time, like, I'm choked up on it. It's all over the place there. I just don't got a good feel for it. But you can see there, I got a red line I wrote on my shirt there. I just colored myself with it. And then that way, it's indicator how the depth I want to drive it. It's marked at 4 foot, and I'm driving my 5 foot post a foot. It's pretty good. I'm stepping all these posts out every 5 steps. It's fairly frequent here for what we're doing with our electric fencing. There's just not a lot of pressure, but that way we keep all our wires at consistent heights and stuff through the dips and whatever else. And you can see here, so yeah, it takes a fair amount of posts, but it's really quite a nice way to do it. They're good and portable. They're not too expensive. Like, they're not near as permanent as a wooden post. You pull them out much easier. And there's not really a lot of pressure on any of these wooden or rebar posts. Sorry, you know, like the pressure on the corners all in the wooden posts. The wires aren't tight, very tight at all by the end of it. And being electric, like, nothing is putting pressure on the fence, because if so, they're getting a real zap in doing so. So walk around here and get all our posts put in, and then it's off to the next step. I got another roll of cable and finished stretching out all my wires, and I used up the last of that other roll pretty well, you know, with these shorter stretches on my gates. So all I have left here is one more for this gate. So I'm showing you how I'm doing this here. First and foremost, one thing about this project, it don't matter for how I'm doing this. They're plentiful for me here, but it's a little extensive how I've done this on the wooden insulators otherwise. But this is my line coming down. The big stretch there I finished off on, they're all somewhat tight. And all these ones are my gate, and they're separated because, like, I could have just put one there or something. They're separated because I do not want this gate zinging while I'm opening it. I want to have a disconnect, so I have it insulated over there. So all I'm doing, you know, like, I rip over there and connect it same way I do all my connecting, and then give myself lots of slack to work with here. I don't want to cut it just yet. And you see, this is our gate handle, and this is how we're doing 2 simple cheap gates. And we're doing, like, it's just, you just got to buy the handle and a couple of insulators, otherwise it's no different than anything. You see, I didn't want a gate like this quite just for my entrance. I could have, it's just every time you go through it'd be a little bit more of a pain in the ass. Not to say it's a real pain in the ass, it's just much more convenient to do it that way. What this does here is it's got a spring on it, so it'll tighten that, tighten the cable there. We'll just feed this on to, see, I got it on here. Now I have to now I'll just cut it kind of where I want it, in line with these other ones. I'm leaving this long in case I want to zip it here. I'm not going to. You see, these ones are loose too, because this here is loose. So I had to take into account the fact that they would be much more like this one. Now we got it, you know, measured out and exactly how we want it here. It's time to get it. Now this is a little tricky because we have to set it right at the right tightness, you know. Get our double ferrule going through there. And I want this, like, I'm doing this so this tag end is far away. Like, you'll see why. Now I actually want it pretty tight. Not too tight I can open it, but like nearly, like some about like there. And the reason for that is because this is all gonna stretch and that spring's gonna weaken, and I don't want it sagging. So pretty tight, guys, pretty tight. Then we'll just crimp it down here while I'm holding tension on it. Okay, so you see here now, like, that's pretty tight, but actually could have even went some tighter on that one, but that's pretty good. Then to get through the gate, I gotta pull them all. So these ones are loosey-goosey, so it's tricky, but no, that works good. So this gate also, like, it connects all of our wires together. While one gate is open, and there will only ever be one gate open for a short period of time, the fence will not be in a continuous loop, which would be slightly not as good, but still good. But it's like for 5 seconds while I open and close it, you know, it's no big deal. Like the way we've hooked those on, like they're hooking and the wire is flowing through there. Like the handle is insulated, but it's conducting power on this from that side. But like we're not connected here, and if we're not connected here on both our gates, well, it's not gonna be good. You see, like with the high hog gate, I got quite a bit more shit to do there with it, and I had to bury the power and stuff, and it's way more expensive. But that one's worth it, whereas this one I might, if maybe go through every couple days or something, you know, it just don't matter as much. Now, like our top wire is connected. There's power hopping through all 4 of these lines right now, but not here. I'm not hopping it through all 4. What we gotta do, we're gonna now connect all these 4 wires together. Now, I'm just trying to think. I have to look at how all my gates are zipping, but like power is zipping this way. But like the more times I do this, the merrier. Once I get this one done, I think I'm zipping on all 4 good everywhere. But like that, I can do this at all my corners on each side. Like I could even do it here, you know, everywhere. And this is here now the reasoning behind this. So what I'm actually gonna do here is very easily connect all 4, and you know, we're zipping her along all of them now. So taking a stretch of cable. This is why I left the loop big and pushed it away from the post. We don't have to worry about it contacting the post or anything. You know, it's out of the road here. So, and you could put a couple different things on here actually, but we don't need to, at least right now. That one on. Now come to the bottom, you know, and I want fair slack on this. Like I don't want to be fighting her too bad, that's for sure. 3 more double ferrules on here, and we'll just let them hang up here for now. Come down to the bottom. Now the bottom 2 are connected. Now with this nice long tag end, all I gotta do here, this is not gonna fit in the ferrule with this ugly end. I'm just feeding it through like this here. The other one connected here as well, and now we're coming across all the lines here good. Okay guys, so here's how this gate works, and this one is actually slightly better. I made the mistake of zipping the gate together on the last one. It's not quite as good. This is slightly better. I might change that one, I might not. I just kind of had a lapse there, but see, there's power coming from this way on this fence. All this here does is connect the 2 together, so it's a continuous loop of power. Disconnect that to open the gate. You don't even have to. Probably best to. It takes 1 second, and then from there, like that's what's carrying power across that top wire and over. We don't have to bury power or anything. Make it easy. Now from there, all 4 of these lines are zipping because they're connected to the other one, right? Like they're powered. Like the power's coming through the handle, like it's going through here and out here. It's all connected. What I didn't want is all these wires electrified while they're on the ground, because I'm just gonna zap myself. So like right here, there's no longer any power on this line once I disconnect it. So I can chuck her over there. I'm probably just going to be bringing my quad through, but I made the gate plenty big. I can chuck her over there, and I'm not worried about zapping myself. It's not until I hook it up that there's power, and it kind of completes the whole deal. So to get through this gate, it's just a little bit more of a chore, because you got to do all the handles and all the thing. But it's perfectly practical. Now, what I did is a mistake, and I might cut it off, I might not on the other one, is I zipped them across like I zipped her here as well, which is totally stupid. I don't know what happened, but if I do that, I disconnect this one, and the power is zipping up this line, it's still zipping. So what's the zip count for today, boys? I don't give a fuck, but I'll show you. Like, this is how I'm getting through this gate, approximately. Like 4 is a lot, right? So like these have no power on them now, so I can totally hold them however, unless they're connecting, but you know, to the bottom wire. So yeah, just like this. But see, you kind of want to keep them all together, and you don't want them to touch if they're hot, but it's just a little bit more a chore. Like, I'm gonna have to get a better feel for how I'm gonna do this over time, and it'll just become more natural. But you see, now I have to string all these up again. So, you know, like as long as I'm holding on to the handle here, like it's not gonna do anything like this. Just gotta be conscious of it. And that's one of those things I'm gonna have to do a few times, and then it'll flow natural. It's just a touch more work, but it still works good. I'm gonna bring you along here as I see if this is gonna work. I've had to think a little bit about how I wanted to zap this gate. And I had mocked up like one row here with my wooden post insulators. Can you see them? I wired them on there, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I didn't know exactly how I was gonna stop it, tie off. I thought it was too close to the gate because it might come loose. I found these here, and I think they're the ticket. And not only do they extend past, yes sir, they clip right the fuck on there. That is gonna be beauty. That is gonna work so good. I think I can even, wire them on here. It's not near as good. If I can go on this, fuck yes. See, and then I have to cut this, and then this pin drops in here, holds that in place. I can either run it, yeah, either way. And the big thing here is it's gonna go on way easier, right? And they'll hold better. The big thing too is I can easily put a stop. They're not gonna want to pull through as bad. And like if I'm holding it outside here, it's a much better barrier, because if anything's gonna try and climb up, it's gonna hit here a lot better than it's gonna hit here. So many reasons this is better. This is way better. I'm glad. And if this cable comes loose, because I'm not gonna be able to get it singing tight, and it don't have to be, well then at least it's held the way, and it's not gonna be sagging into the fence. So this is gonna work real good. Now you have to realize like how this electric fence is successful is like, if a bear or anything's gonna see these wires, what might give you a little bit of trouble is a deer, but like they're gonna be weary of it. So they go and they smell it around, and then they get that right on the nose, that wet nose, and they zap them, and then they're gonna learn quickly. Like they're not gonna keep trying to hit the fence. Or still not, you still can't rely on it 100%. It's gonna be a lot of improvement. Another thing too, like I spaced so many wires that you're not gonna be able to climb through the wires, because you're gonna get zapped badly. Like if you don't have enough, and say a deer tries to go through there, and then halfway through there it starts to get zapped, like oof, just make a messier fence. So yeah, I'm gonna rig this up though, guys. This is gonna work good. I'm glad I didn't put all these here on there, because they're not gonna work as good. So sorry about the wind. Like I wait around here for it to fuck off, but it just keeps fucking on. Okay guys, so I didn't know what to expect about this here whole deal, but I'm just real happy with how this is turning out. I think it's awesome. I'm real glad I bought these ones instead. So buy a package is 20. They're not cheap. These are, and like on their own, to use these connectors like there, or these ones are for a T-post, but this design with the pin lock is gonna break in over time, and they're way more expensive. These claw ones are way better, not even close, but these are working wonders on my gate here. See, what I've done here, like it come with 20, and I want to so I'll put them in 4 places, 5 different, like it's gonna work really good. It's a little goofy though, because things are not symmetrical. I put them on the outside bars there and not on the inside ones, and which is a lot of connectors for this span. And also I didn't zap this bar here, because I think it's gonna be in the road of my gate. I'm gonna really have her zapped all the way across. So you can see how these work. Like what these ones here are is ass backwards. Like this is how they're supposed to be used, and they work real good. And they send me 20 zip ties for these. Shout out Gallagher. They were all terrible quality. Just look at this here stuff. So I put 175 pound cable ties on there. They're not coming undone. But you see here, like this is really good. Like this is gonna stay there forever because it just holds this, and it's like that's beauty secure. This is not so good. Like I just don't have that bar to put them in. I want to get it all the way across, so I put them. What they are is ass backwards. You can see here, and they hold pretty good. They're not quite as good, and you see that's gonna be where I feed the cable through, and I'll just put a stop on there. This is how they're supposed to go, is like this, and then you can lock this here and here, but like this is just gonna break over time. Oh man, guys, this thing is serious and I love it. Oh fuck, do I ever love it too. Yeah, no chance. A couple things, like that's acceptable clearance. This is not. See, I didn't realize the dip was quite as bad. So when I fill that trench, so I'll put a little extra there in the center. This thing is serious. Like nothing, like I got this gap. Like I just put 5 wires because I had that many connectors, right? But like, because it's like this, like nothing is climbing out here. It's this good 6-panel one, guys. 6-bar one, nothing's climbing through it that I'm worried about either, you know. Well guys, nothing like a right beauty of a meal. Okay guys, so it's been a minute here since I've had this camera going, and it's probably really changed here since the last time I had her going. It really green up around here, which is right on. So a lot has happened. The dog has been on the dusty deck. A lot has happened in a short period here. It was damn dry. I was starting to get really worried about fire and stuff. And we had got a couple just not worth a shit kind of shots of moisture, and then here now a couple days ago we finally got a good dose of her, which is right on. And then it was like -5. Like it went from +30 to -5 in the span of, you know, fuck all time. So I had the fire going actually the last couple days. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Had the fire going the last couple days, which is crazy because the day before that it was +30. In the time being, I actually got this fence. It's partially zipping. I was waiting on my connectors, and I've been waiting on them for a while. So what I did, I just borrowed some of these to just string it out and get some zip on it. I had to put a few here. I didn't want it touching, otherwise it just ground out on my post. So I put a few and got it zipping along a bit. And you can see I just got this. This is not how I want this, but I just got my fencer back there and only one ground rod, right? Like I'll show you my fencer in a bit here. There's not very much zap on it because I only got one ground rod, and I'm probably zapping, I'm probably on the ground here quite a few places. But that's one of the reasons why I bought a big ass fencer. I'll show you that. But to judge this shock, I fucking hate doing this. I keep doing it though. Ooh. Another thing that's really gonna zipper is, like, I don't have her in a full loop right now, guys, right? I got it going to the gate and it stops on either side of my metal gate, so it don't zip around there. So when I hook that up, it'll increase voltage here too. But let's get right at her. I'm gonna unplug this so we're not zipping ourselves all day, cookie boy. Okay guys, so first thing I'm doing here, get all the connectors put on my fence. So all my rebar connectors, this is what they look like. They're screw type claw ones, so you gotta cut this little piece off them and just screw it together. You see how this works too, right? Like it just screws on to the post, holds there real nice. And then the claw, like if I have it here, and I've loosened these wires off pretty good, but you just like this, and then once that tightens, it never come off. So draw pull 3 of these down. We'll start at the top here, put that one up high. It's pretty damn high, guys, but and then I just kind of space them out the same, something like this. I gotta get that bottom one quite low, because yeah, so I think that there ends up being quite a stretch here. I want that bottom one really quite low, so like that. Come down here. But if I go like stupid low, it's just gonna ground out all the time on all the vegetation and stuff. But also partially why I bought a big ass fencer. You'll see why. You'll see it in a bit here. But something like that, you know. So guys, at this point I got all my insulators on all the way around. You can see them. Took quite a lot. I think I used like 10 bags of them. Our fence is zipping here, so I just set this here quickly, and you can see it's flashing green. I got the power hooked to there, and then this is a 6-foot ground rod. Now it's already really zipping quite good there, so by the time we're done with what we're about to do, it's really gonna be zipping. So okay guys, so high time to talk to you about my energizer here, my fencer. And also you'd see here, this was kind of a prick to clean off this here deal, so I cleaned it with the hand plane. That's literally what I did. It was like that. And then put some polyurethane on it so it wipe off easier, and it's been awesome. So that's right on too, but coffees are going strong here this morning. So this Gallagher fencer, and it's a 560. The M stands for mains power. It's not a 12 volt, it's a 110. And then the 560 stands for 5.6 joules. So it's a hell of a fencer for this size of fence. Now that's for 2, maybe even 3 reasons. One is there's a bigger, you can do more with it. Like, it's better to have something that's too big than too small, like 100% of the time. And like if you ever use it on a bigger fence, you'd be more than capable. It's a big fencer. Also, you know, I'm putting a lot of zap to the bears with this here thing, really a lot. And I don't have to worry about the fence being completely clean because it's just got enough power. It don't matter. I can still zap her good. It's a mains power one because they're way cheaper. Like this size fencer with this plug compared to a 12 volt one is quite a size difference. And then another thing is I want all this centralized. Like it's far better off, like what you can do with a 12 volt is just put a simple car battery or whatever, an old battery that's kind of half-ass, and just put a standalone, maybe a 50 watt panel is probably more than enough. It don't use much power at all. But I much rather, like, I don't want to do that because then it's so much easier just to plug it in here, and then everything's centralized. It's far better if I have one solar system for everything. Like, I have 2 solar panels over there for my workshop, and we're talking about a cost of $200, so it don't really matter. But I haven't even been in there in the dark for like a couple weeks, so that power's really got nowhere to go. Whereas if it was all connected, it'd be better, but it don't really matter. So cheaper, easier. Like, I'm never worried about power, nothing with this thing. And I'm gonna put it right here, I think, because I think that's out of the way right there. What do you figure, guys? I figure if I go about right there, it'll be just a beauty. Plug it in over there. So yeah, here's the part where I drill a hole through a wall, isn't it? Because I gotta put wires out. I got 2 8-foot. This is way too much zap. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. But I gotta get her. I gotta get her out the other side. I'd much rather run a wire over there than this extension cord and have my fencer outside. I'd much rather the fencer inside and run underground wire out there. I'm not even gonna bury it, but I'll show you. Okay guys, so behind my cabin here now, this is where it comes out. I'm gonna put it like here. This is heavy duty, real solid underground stuff, and it's gonna work good here. I'm not gonna bury it to go over there because I don't want to. Here are my ground rods. This is ridiculous, honestly, is what it is. It's ridiculous. These are 8-footers, galvanized, conduct good. We'll connect our ground here and then run our power. It's about 20 feet or so. It drive pretty easy, and it's gonna be easier to pull out than you might think. Like, it's just smooth. There's no texture to it, like a one post that makes it hard to pull out. But I had to bring out the big maul here, boys. I'm not gonna hit it too hard. There, guys, I drove her in quite a damn ways, but I left a bit of a handle on there and to pull it out or whatever, so that's cool. We'll start with that. So you see, this is my ground clamp. It's gonna connect to my post, and I've just connected it here. I could only find 2 of these, so I'll just leave it like that. Wouldn't mind some more, that way if anything kind of pulls on this, the only thing that really would is me or the dog by accident. But you see, I stripped this is really heavy duty insulated wire, and I stripped it off, and then I fed it through here like this, and we'll put this clamp down. Might as well leave it high, I guess, and from here we're gonna tighten this up, and I am quite certain, guys, that this is gonna be a shitload of zap. Quite certain it's gonna be a shitload. And then the tag end is for if we do in fact put a second one. Okay, guys, that's got to be plenty good. So we'll go back into cabin here and run our next wire. Okay, guys, so you see this fencer just has a couple slots that's gonna sit on these screws here, so we'll get it on there. So you see, guys, I'm just bending a hook over this wire and then screw this on, and that's our connection. This is my power, that's my ground. And I just drilled about as small as a hole as I could, and just push the wire straight through. It's nice solid wire, so it pushes through good. And yeah, so that's all there is to that, guys. That's a clean little install. You know, it's totally not in the road or anything. Maybe the cable there for a second, but and then yeah, that's totally right on, guys. So you can see here, like, there's just no way I'm burying this. Like, I never come out back here ever. It's just no way. And then it's a pain in the ass if you ever want to move it or something. And that's why it's heavy duty cable. It's fine, it don't matter, like, it's so good. But I got it secured there, and I also zip tied it to the post here. That way if something does trip on it, it's not gonna pull anything too bad. And then how did I do this? I unraveled this, I put a 3/32 double ferrule, and it's on the fence there, as you can see. It doesn't matter which one it goes to, they're all zipping. It just transfers over in different places. And then from there, you see I put a bend in this too, and that way it'll never pull through there. So that's right on, guys. Okay, guys, so check it out. Like, this fence here, it's just a right beauty at this point. There's a couple finicky little things here could piss around with. One is this is too high. Now, it's totally cool. One is, like, you don't want to drop it any further, then it's gonna drag out here and drag out there. And I put it specifically right there because it can swing that way. You can see where the water builds. It might not ever build there again, guys. You see where it builds over here, and it also builds over here, so it's a nice high spot. There'll never be water here if there wasn't this last couple years. There's a few finicky things, and I hate them more than anything. But this is totally unnecessary what I'm about to do here, but I'm already half done it, so I might as well. But I'm going to be connecting the power underneath, because right now it's not in a complete circuit. Like, it stops here and it stops there. It goes through the gate, but it don't come over here. So our fence is still ripping good, but, like, it's not in a complete loop. So once we do that, it's gonna increase the voltage. We'll see how it looks then and go from there. Okay, guys, quite honestly, I've pissed around with this, well, not long at all, honestly, but it's totally, like, wasted time. It's unnecessary, honestly. So, and this is why my other gates are such beauty too, guys, because they carry the power over the fence. Like, I can get away with it here, one gate. But with 3, if I wasn't carrying across the fence and I didn't dig them in, like, this whole section would, or that section wouldn't get power at all. So really like how they turned out. But yeah, so I'm not digging this trench anymore because it's already kind of ridiculous. But I got it secured and connected, and I'm just gonna pack it down as I go, I guess, guys. Sun's strong today, guys. Hope you can see me all right, but see if I can just, it's kind of a stiff wire, so if I can just use my new rake, she's a beauty, eh? I already got all this dirt compacted I dug up, but just kind of get it packed down enough, it'll stay there at the bottom, and then we can worry about filling the rest of it, you know. So that'll be right on. I cannot ever see that being a problem. Like, that is solid. It's really good stuff for underground. That's got to be deep enough. Really didn't take long to do though. I think it's gonna jump our voltage up, and that's our zippage, right? Like, we're gonna feel that. So got this all tacked in here pretty good. Now we're gonna want to connect it over here, and I'm gonna want to give myself lots. I'll give myself slack. Anyway, what I want to do, I'm probably just gonna feed it up here for simplicity, and then kind of hold it that way. It's gonna be mint. Just because wire is cheap, we're just gonna secure it nice and good here to the post. Nice and good, huh? So we'll just for shits. One of those things that'll most likely never be a problem, but it takes 5 seconds to do. Just a couple cheap strands of, I think this is only 16. It's just snare stuff. It would probably be better 14 or so, but I guess it holds the pressure off my connection at some time. But okay, so it's good and stiff stuff. What did I do here? I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is how I've always taken the insulation off there. Just use the X-Acto knife. I'm taking lots. See, I can peel it off easy, and this is really heavy duty insulated stuff. It's definitely good for underground. So, cool, we're chilling. It don't matter, like, none of this stuff is any risk. Like, the fencer is like safe electricity. You know, it don't matter if this is long or anything, you know, nothing. It's a beauty. So, see why these tag ends are nice? Like, I got multiple connections going on here, and we're chilling. I got it, like, I'm zipping it all the way here, and I'm also connecting my underground. Yeah, this is one beauty about this fence and using cable. I made a lot of connections here really easily, really good quality connections with these double ferrules. Like, it's just a great way to do it, and highly conductive, cheap, etc, etc. One thing I don't love is crimping onto this solid wire. Like, especially like on that one there where my wire is up, and you know, it's not underground or anything. Like, there could be pressure on that. This is just smooth. Same thing with my post. Like, the cable, it crimps way better. So this is really good to do this. See, if I just bend it over, like, that is never ever going to be an issue, ever. It's a beauty. And that's done. I'm just gonna have to find all this dirt. Okay guys, totally mint right on. She is here now. I just filled it in quick. I didn't pack it down, like, I walked on it, but I'm gonna drive over this, let it pack down again, and then I'm probably gonna try and put some in this spot. It looks a lot better now that I filled it up though, that's for sure. Here is Coogan, his toy. He loves this thing. He hides it everywhere. Okay, time to plug her in. I can get rid of this cord here now too. I really do. Okay. Nice to jam all this kind of stuff under here. See, she's ripping now. You can hear it. Tick. See, it's like pulsating for friends that are new to this. Like, it shoots, every green light, it shoots a zap through there. So it's not always electrocuted. It's like pulsating. That's got to be the best word, if that's even a word. I'll show you here. So, like, I got all kinds of shit like this on the fence. You can hear it where it's grounding out. Yeah, like these here. Now there's a big difference here actually. like in conductivity. Like this dry stuff, you see, it's not conducting power. It's not taking much. Like it's not drawing much off the fence and grounding it out. But like this green stuff here, this is how you test too if the fence is on. Just slowly. Yeah, oh, there's a good zap there. Oh. And the more you slide it up, yeah, she's good, boys, but fuck, why am I doing this? Okay, guys. Just having lunch. I hate lunch. It's right in the middle of the day. I usually just eating enough to keep her going. Sometimes more, and then really pile her on supper time. But having these here tajitos or some shit, I don't know what they're called. They're not too pretty bad. Never had them before. Hey, so I drove this second ground rod in there. I drove it too close probably. I'll show you. And I was like, oh, it didn't really make a difference. Here I am with my grass. And then I was like, then I actually touched it. And it's the worst because you know it's coming. Hey, it's like, oh, fuck. And then, oh, she really jumps now. She's going. She is zipping. But poor Pooch, he's got to figure it out a little better still. So okay, guys, so I drove that ground rod in. And you can see I kind of buggered the top of it. That's totally fine. What I realized, like as soon as it was too late, is that I should have probably spaced those out further. And I was like, oh shit. And then I went and touched the fence and I said, okay, we don't need any more zap. I like this. It's a good distance. It's enough room for my fire pit and stuff and the dog and you know, all that. It's good. Ran it pretty well, exactly parallel to my cabin. That way it looks pretty good and isn't kind of slanted. And then I shot it up this way, like I showed you there, nice straight bank, and avoided, like I didn't cut one tree down. You know, I wouldn't mind. I don't really care about cutting down a poplar tree, but like there's some spruce and birch, but it's just a lot of work. I'm make it easy on myself. There's a lot of stuff on this fence as we go around. I've cleared off a shitload already, and there's still a shitload, and that's why I got a big ass fencer, like for what we're doing. Like I just don't want to be pissing around with this all the time, or have a couple sticks fall over and all of a sudden the fence is useless. Like I want all that power. So my gate, and then up here and over, you know, these are nice straight out of the bushes, but all this stuff is just growing on the fence. Yeah, this is where it starts to get real nasty. Like I really, you know, I come along here with the axe a couple times, but there's just so much shit, especially with that low wire on my fence, you know, which is important for my fence, but it really drags in a lot of this shit. And I'm grounding out in a lot of places, yet I still got a real good zap on her. See here, comes through here, and you see I've been tidying up a little bit of this shit too. I need a couple more pallets to get that done. And here's our corner, of course, and up over here, cut it pretty tight in here. Can put stuff back in here and whatnot. You see I got the RC and stuff, and there's good, like, well, this is kind of brush here now, but you could put stuff in here if you did a little chainsaw, or also in behind there where we're going now. I'll show you. This is the longest stretch there, with like this post goes all the way over there. There's quite a few rebar stakes all along, and like look at this shit I had to chop through. It was nasty through here. But these dead sticks like this here, I don't think, you don't take near as much power off the fence. She comes over here. I did good. There's a couple, like I don't want rebar stakes force pulling up on these rebar stakes. Like I don't want rebar in low spots. I did good. Maybe here you can see I don't have these wires tight at all. You know, they're just not, and they shouldn't be. They don't have to be, because there's no pressure on this fence. Here's another thing I don't know if anybody really noticed. This is maybe, I thought of this after a bit, it's maybe better on the inside. There's just not enough pressure, not enough tightness on these wires for this to matter. But if there was more, you definitely want it on the inside. This way there's no pressure on the post at all, right? Nothing's rubbing on that post without getting zapped. It'll be fine. There's not near enough pressure on these. I'd touch you to find out, but I'd be singing high E. My other gate here, these turned out real nice. See, I got them so loose that these would, like you can see here, but that turns out good. I really like how easy it is to tighten everything here and everything as well. is right on. It's just low maintenance. That's what I wanted. I didn't want something that's always a pain in the ass. This is a nice little area back here. There's not much for bush. I can you park stuff back here. Like, I hardly got these tight enough. They're hardly holding up those ratchet tighteners. I should maybe tighten them ones a touch. There's another nasty stretch over to my entrance gate. You can see how she goes right straight through there. Quite a bit of shit on this fence too. And then she cuts down here right to my beauty gate. Boy, do I love this gate. Had a couple extra stakes. I used, you see they're in closer distance here because they're just a little high, so I brought it down a touch. Don't really matter. There, and then over we come straight down there to where I had that fencer. That's all about, and that's all she is there, guys. It's right on. Well, guys, I guess that's it and all for my fencer now. It took quite a while waiting on stuff and whatever else, but not a bad little project because I thought about it more than I actually did any work on it. But anyway, yeah, it should be real good. You know, I can just literally sleep easier knowing it's another layer of defense or what have you. And you know, if I bugger off and I go out that way, you know, when I'm doing something or whatever else, you know, I'm not so worried about the chickens being outside or none of that shit, you know. It's just breathe easier. It costs a fair little bit of money to do. Like, it's not cheap once you get all the connectors and stuff and the posts and the wire, and all of a sudden it adds up pretty quick. But I really think it's a low maintenance deal though. Like, I only spent $330 on that fencer, which is not a lot of money for a fencer. Like, if you were to buy a DC Gallagher, I think you'd maybe get 2 joules for that price on DC, like 12 volt, but I don't know, I forget now. So the mains electricity is a good bang for the buck there on the fencers, and then I just plug it in there and it's way better for me in this instance. The only downside I can think of is if you never be able to use that on some more isolated location, like if I ever use it on a different kind of a fence, like where you don't have power, then you have to run it on DC. So that's the one thing, but I didn't consider that much. There's way more upside, and it's low maintenance. Like, it uses very little power. I got all kinds of shit on the fence. It's still zipping. You know, I didn't want a 2 joule fence or whatever that's gonna ground out easy, and then I got no zip there, and I might have no zip unknowingly. You know, I want lots of zip on her. Now, you can't rely on the thing fully, but it sure as hell doesn't do any harm in regards to bears. Like, if he was running mock chicken for whatever reason, which I doubt, usually pretty dopey, but if someone was to hit that fence, like, they could find themselves halfway through it and then getting zipped, and then they go either way, you know what I mean? So, but I expect, like, if you're a bear in the area and you figure it out, you coming around, mosey around, you see the fence, curious, he's sniffing, gets it on the snout, and that's all she wrote. Then is real weary about it. This is how that most likely works. So, but it's great to get done. You know, it just stay there. I don't worry about it. I'm gonna do very little maintenance on it, and she should be good. So, guys, I got quite a few different things happening here in the next little while. I gotta figure out how all I'm gonna do it. But I've got some good shit lined up here for you guys. I got some awesome things coming and shit like that. It's right on. So, you know, I probably say that quite a bit, but this time I got so many things to do. It's just which one do I do next, and they're right on things. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my fence project, and all the best to everyone.